Ladies and gentlemen, place your bets. It seems like Wall Street already has, bidding Tesla stock down over 8% on Friday, following Elon Musk's launch of the long-awaited RoboTaxi, and one more thing, a futuristic electric van, which has actually been highly anticipated for years. But once again, the mainstream news outlets simply don't get it and came out to be disappointed. CNBC was flailing, saying that the Cybercab was a flop, with Jim Cramer saying that while he doesn't recommend buying or shorting the stock, the event's demonstration lacked substance and failed to prove its technological prowess. Excuse me? Did we see two different things? Failed to prove its technological prowess? There seems to be a major discrepancy between what the media is saying online versus what the people who were actually at the RoboTaxi event are reporting. For one thing, Elon Musk's presentation was short and sweet, but the real mind-blowing parts occurred after the presentation. Tesla took over the Warner Brothers studio in LA and essentially turned it into a robotics theme park, or Westworld, trying to not only show their vision or a taste of what the future will look like, but to also demonstrate what they've been working on and what their goal is. This may have been the craziest tech demo ever, and Salesforce's Mark Benioff called it the most inspiring one he's ever seen. There were 50 or so autonomous robotaxis giving people rides around the Hollywood studio. This is symbolic, as many of the popular science fiction movies that inspired Tesla were made here, and the Tesla event is at a crossroads between science fiction and reality. There were about 30 Optimus humanoid robots that were interacting with people for hours. Although they were assisted by humans, which actually seems kind of hard to tell, they were able to walk around on their own. The dancing was pre-programmed, but it's interesting that the batteries lasted the entire night as they entertained everyone. The media always gives Tesla a bad rap anyways, and so being short on details seems to be the right move this time round, especially for products that will take a few years to come out. There's no point to promote it. The RoboTaxi specifically, which is targeted for 2026, and no timeline for the RoboVan, as Elon Musk calls it. We actually already knew that 2026 was the RoboTaxi timeline, as this will incorporate all of the latest technology that Tesla has already showed us in the past, including the unboxed process and other methods to reduce cost, such as removing rare earth metals from the motors, and much more, as Tesla targets an under $30,000 price tag, which again Elon Musk was a little vague on, because every word he says is viewed as a promise, which Wall Street holds him to day in and day out, especially as they forget about all the other promises that Tesla has fulfilled. And they forgot about something else as well, because it's been well known that it will take some time to bring the RoboTaxi into production. Earlier this year, Tesla said that they were accelerating their vehicle lineup to bring new models to market faster, using the same production lines they already have. This will help cut costs and use some of the new technology that they're planning for the RoboTaxi. It will not be using the unboxed process. That would require a whole new type of manufacturing capability. This is still being reserved for the RoboTaxi, but Tesla decided that because the RoboTaxi wait time will be so long, they would introduce new models in the meantime, and so far we don't really know much about this. Elon Musk has unveiled 2 of the 3 secret vehicle products that Tesla has been working on, and so there's at least one more to go. But Wall Street once again doesn't really get how Tesla works, what a demo is and what a vision is, but long-term investors typically stand to benefit immensely from Tesla's hard work and creativity. Some people do get it though. Analyst Dan Ives called it the 4th Industrial Revolution. So maybe Wall Street should question themselves. It may not be Tesla that's missing something. Tell me in the comments where you've seen a cooler product launch than what Tesla just did. And again, you need to watch the part after Elon Musk's presentation. The presentation itself was only part of it. Elon Musk has said the future should look like the future, and he's the one building it, which happens to be the best indicator of what the future will indeed look like. It's the people building it out who ultimately decide. And coincidentally, that's something that Isaac Asimov taught us, and why many of his predictions came true. Your job as an investor is to separate the noise from the news. And half the fun of Tesla not giving too much detail is that you have to do a bit of investigating on your own to see for yourself, instead of listening to the mainstream media who aren't able to tell you the details and instead are trying to tell you what to think from their headlines, such as Tesla's lack of technological prowess. Well, let's see about that. The new RoboTaxi or Cybercab has no steering wheels or pedals, and yet will be able to drive you anywhere you want to go. There's no other product like this in the world. But trust the experts when they say that Tesla doesn't have technological prowess, as they give autonomous rides to hundreds of people in 20 dedicated robotaxis they built for this event. Most of the people there are probably already familiar with FSD and wanted to see the vehicle itself. This was a hardware event after all, the unveiling of a new vehicle. There were technically no expectations on the software, as anyone can test out the latest version of full self-driving in their current Tesla vehicles at home. The RoboTaxi will be running the same software. However, Elon Musk dropped a bombshell when he said that unsupervised self-driving will be coming to California and Texas next year, through the use of Model 3 and Model Y or any of Tesla's existing vehicles. I've been saying this for some time that Tesla will start with a smaller geo-fenced area, even though the software currently works anywhere in North America in a supervised fashion. Wall Street seems to be questioning the rollout of robotaxis, but Tesla will follow the same patterns as it has in the past. When they release a new version of software through over-the-air software updates, they don't just release it to everyone right away. First, they run their vast automated test suite on it to make sure everything passes. Then they start with employee vehicles, then a small set of customers, then certain geographies, before it's rolled out to everyone. As they propagate the software outward throughout the fleet, these phases allow the developers to catch and fix bugs early on to prevent them from infecting the entire fleet. And some bugs or issues only show up when the fleet size is large, because maybe they have a low probability of occurring, and with a large fleet, some percentage of the vehicles show the issue. Or maybe there are certain use cases that weren't accounted for, where essentially crowdsourcing to medium-sized groups helps to find and iron out the issues. The latter is literally one of Tesla's greatest advantages, since they have the most miles driven, the most data, and the highest number of edge case scenarios. And so really they've been doing this strategy the whole time, with every FSD software release, to find and integrate edge cases into the neural nets to learn from them. California and Texas are great places to start for unsupervised self-driving, as the regulations will allow it. The concentration of Tesla vehicles in these areas means that they have the most data from these states, especially California. And once unsupervised driving is proven out, they can expand to other states and countries. Also, Tesla is quite confident in its software capabilities to even have this event in the first place, because without the software, a car without a steering wheel or pedals doesn't work very well. So while everyone is pushing to get the car out ASAP, it's the software that's more important. And if the software works, it will also work on Tesla's other models which are already on the roads today. Now the Cybercab is a two-seater, as 90% of trips contain 2 passengers anyways. Some people wanted a 4 or 5-seater robotaxi. It exists already, it's called a Model 3. But the Cybercab is designed with autonomy in mind, and its purpose is to lower the cost to truly disrupt transportation. A 2-seater allows for a smaller vehicle. Top Gear stated at the RoboTaxi Unveiled event that Tesla is targeting a 200-mile range with 5.5 miles per kilowatt hour, which would make it the most efficient Tesla and would only require a 36 kilowatt hour battery pack, about half the size of a long-range Model 3, and also contributes to reducing the weight. This is in line with each generation of Tesla vehicles, aiming to be roughly half the cost of its predecessor. Elon said under $30,000 for the RoboTaxi, which customers will be able to actually buy. There was some worry that Tesla would keep them all for themselves. But I think Elon just doesn't want to promise anything today. But Tesla should be able to handily beat that. Even the base Model 3 did achieve $35,000 without any credits, and Tesla is completely changing how this new vehicle is being built. With a more efficient unboxed process, they're taking out components, steering wheel, pedals, and they plan on mass-producing RoboTaxi far in excess of anything that Model 3 or even Model Y are doing today, which in itself will lower the cost of each component for the Cybercab and all their vehicles, as the target production is about double the Model 3 and Model Y combined. So investors, customers, and competitors may be surprised when the price comes in below what they expected. The Cybercab shares some elements with the Cybertruck, including the light bar in the front and rear. The trunk actually looks a lot like the Cybertruck's, but there won't be any stainless steel. There's also no glass panoramic roof, although there aren't any rear seats, so the glass roof does seem a little pointless if no one is going to be looking through it. A defining feature is the butterfly doors, which gives the RoboTaxi a luxury-type futuristic feel, and I like that it adds to the variety of each Tesla having a different type of door. Butterfly doors also have some benefits as they don't take up much horizontal space, but as a trade-off they do take up more vertical space. And they do often allow for easier entry and exit as the door is completely out of the way. Also, these doors are automated with no door handles, so no one is ever reaching for them, and they'll likely detect nearby objects and open a little less, similar to what the Model X Falcon Wing doors do. It also looks like there are motorized sun visors. If true, Tesla has certainly thought about completely automating the entire vehicle experience in an autonomous world. Who says they don't do any market research? Now, it's unclear if there's a frunk or not. It would be cool for food delivery to have a separate compartment in the vehicle so that multiple orders can be delivered at once, and people can't touch or access other people's orders. The trunk itself seems to be half the size of the car, but the vehicle seems a bit narrower than, say, a Model 3. Elon Musk has also mentioned that there would be different variants of the RoboTaxi, and if they can get the cost down to say 30 to 50% less than a Model 3 and put back a steering wheel, that in itself could be quite disruptive, as the vehicle market is highly price sensitive. The number of buyers greatly increases as prices come down. Speaking of self-driving, they have an automated cleaning robot. This was something where it wasn't clear how Tesla was going to solve for the cleaning aspect of cars. Perhaps Optimus robots would be doing the cleaning. And this is a key point. If Wall Street wants to know how Tesla will ultimately roll out the Tesla network, they just got some very valuable information, a specialized cleaning robot. And it will be interesting if Tesla deploys these robots at charging stations or allows people to buy them for their own homes, or perhaps just for fleets running many robotaxis. Charging was also a big question. Is Optimus going to be an attendant at every supercharger to plug in the vehicle? Whatever happened to the snake charger? Well, there's not even going to be any charge port on the Cybercab. The best port is no port. Instead, it's all wireless inductive charging, and it looks like it will be pretty fast too, given the small battery pack size, and the vehicle will likely be running at 800 volts and 48 volts low voltage systems, but the former allows for faster charging than 400 volt Teslas. But it looks like Tesla will have to build out a network of wireless chargers at each supercharger station or sell them for people's homes. That's why they bought the company Wiferion a few years back, which specializes in wireless charging for mobile robots. Elon Musk also said that AI-5 or Hardware 5 computers will be going into the Cybercab, and I made a whole video about this. The TLDR is that it could help generate additional revenue for Cybercab owners and for Tesla while the vehicle is idle. Now, what details are missing here? The car won't be out for 2 to 3 years anyways and can change a million times before then. It's better not to promise anything so that Tesla can make changes to its own vehicles without being criticized. But it's good to know that Wall Street cares so much about the fine-grained details of each Tesla vehicle because no one cares about the details of other companies' cars. Now enter the RoboVan. Anyone who says Tesla can't or won't build this crazy-looking vehicle was probably also saying the same thing about the Cybertruck. This thing does indeed look like the future, and it comes in many different variants. Tesla showcased a school bus, an RV, it will even be the new Tesla service van, and perhaps a group of Optimus robots will be transported over to fix your car. Elon Musk says that this vehicle was built to look like a spaceship, and I like how it's just a large empty space and can be customized in many different ways, with a screen built into the wall. The RoboVan itself looks like it was inspired by the movie I, Robot, but also the front of it has a similar design to the Hyperloop car, which is low to the ground to get better drag coefficient, and Elon Musk says that it can be raised automatically when going over bumps. It's also hard to see inside this vehicle from the outside, but Elon Musk notes that from the inside it's completely open, so the glass must be heavily tinted. There's no timeline on when this van will come out, but it has a very large flat bottom likely to sport a huge battery pack, and Tesla plans to produce millions of these along with the Cybertruck. And vans could end up contributing to a lucrative commercial business. If you look at Ford, half of their business essentially comes from commercial operations under Ford Pro, and they already sell electric vans. The Ford E-Transit has between 143 to 159 miles of range, and they say that the average daily range for a commercial van is 74 miles in the US. I think Tesla can easily put 300 to 500 miles of range if they want to in this vehicle, and once again they're coming right after the global van, RV, school bus market, etc. And for a company like Ford, they're already being hit by the Cybertruck, and in a few years vans will go after the other side of their business as well. It's really quite a predicament for Ford and the US automakers that rely on larger vehicles where they can't keep up with Tesla's range and other features in the EV space. There is one use case as well for public transit, like public buses, that Elon Musk doesn't really care for, which is why there's no city bus variant of the RoboVan, even though there could be. But the problem with city buses is that they don't go point to point, and so you need to wait for or hop on a connecting bus sometimes or walk part of the distance. And so he thinks that the RoboTaxi will disrupt the public transit systems, although there will likely be fleet operators or city governments that would likely want RoboVan used in public transit. Now, Optimus Subprime wasn't supposed to be at this RoboTaxi unveiling event, but Tesla set it up to allow about 30 to 50 of these humanoid robots to intermingle with the attendees. While it seems that they were human-assisted, the hardware is quite good now as demonstrated by the movements of the robots. Many people still can't tell if they're autonomous or human-controlled. And they were serving drinks and playing games. For one thing, however, Tesla likely collected a lot of training data from this event. By remotely controlling the robots, that's how the team teaches and trains them in the first place. And now for the first time, Optimus was able to interact with large groups of random people asking random questions and making hand motions of all sorts. Ultimately, there would need to be some integration between xAI's Grok as the brains and voice of the robot, but it would need to translate its responses into human-like movements and tasks as well. Now, even if Optimus was remotely controlled, this is still the stuff of science fiction coming to reality. I've always been intrigued with the scene from Lost in Space, the middle movie from 1998, where Will Robinson gets into a hologram of the robot and is able to control it remotely and fight off alien spiders. Tesla just did that, minus the alien spiders, and everyone's like, fake. Who said it would be fully autonomous? I'm not sure what people were expecting from this event, but it was supposed to be a hardware RoboTaxi unveil event. Instead, people got an actual Westworld with autonomous drives, a RoboVan unveil, dancing robots, and a vision of the future. The people saying Elon Musk can't do anything or is always late, that's their problem. Tesla is telling you what they're working on, and as billionaire investor Warren Buffett says, the stock market is a device for transferring money from the impatient to the patient. So what do you think these announcements will mean for Tesla's future? And do they have any impact in the short term? Your task is to follow me on X at TMIOTesla. Please hit the like button and subscribe, we would really appreciate that. And a huge shout out to all of our patrons that help to support our channel. Your support helps us to continue to make great content. Thank you guys so much for watching.